We are live. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Char.
Hi, Emil.
Hi, Char.
You have to do something equally elaborate.
It's so good to have you here. My camera's a little bit wonky. As you can see, I've been experimenting since Instagram blocked me. It doesn't want me to be great.
Are you still blocked?
I haven't actually tested it, but I thought
Okay.
I was planning to move off there anyway.
Okay, it was whack.
So
Rubbish.
we're gonna just gonna make sure everything is playing where it should be. Oh yeah, we are live. Yeah, cool. It's still doing the countdown, so
Yeah.
there's a little delay, but that's great. That is wonderful. I've been trying. I've got all these things. I can put this up. I can do like a little tracker that goes across the screen.
Oh, I just saw it started moving. Have you done 14 episodes?
Yeah.
Well done.
I've had a break for 1 week. There was 1 week. That was my birthday.
Oh, you had to recover after your birthday, bro.
I was like, yeah. But I like this little platform. Actually, J2 showed it to me. Big up, Jay.
Shout out J2. He's probably not listening. What's going on, Jay?
I know. He knows about it, but you know, he'll show up like 5 minutes before we finish. Love it. So we're here. Asia's here. Hi. So we've got people here looking good.
I can't see. Can
you see the comments?
No.
Yeah, if you click.
Well, I can show it here. So you can see on the
now I don't know how to bring that.
Thank you, Asia.
Well, how do I do that? I just feel like I'm going to break something. I'm going to leave the room or something.
Well, I really don't know. Well, yeah, that was your camera.
Yeah.
I don't know what else, but I can put the comments up on the screen. So.
Okay, yeah, because I can't see anything but black down the bottom. Oh, I can see something now.
Yeah.
Play. Thank you, bro.
Play in the house.
I don't want to squint, but hey.
It's good. Your lighting's great. I'm quite jealous. I still look quite grey. I looked grey last week as well.
I'm going to send you a new light.
Thank you, Fab. Yeah, my light's not really doing it.
No, it doesn't. You can't change colours.
Yeah, but this is the one that gives me the most colour. The others are blue or white. Oh. It's all good. Never mind. Right. So today, what I wanted to speak to you guys about, because you're just so wonderful. You're just so wonderful. Oh, yeah, he's there. Oh, yeah, the camera's opposite way.
Nice.
So our subject today. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Oh, see, I can't take this. Thanks, guys.
Remember, we were talking about accepting them compliments.
I know. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this week's subject is: can I turn my hobby into a career? And I thought you guys were the great choice for this subject, because I think you both do just amazing stuff that you do as like work, but then to anyone else they might see it as a hobby, you know, something you look anywhere. Basically any kind of work that you love can be seen as a hobby, because yeah. So well, firstly I just wanted to introduce you properly, actually. So Katasha is my long time friend. We go Katasha.
Not him.
Take it down and then we can see your name. Yeah, Katasha. My long time friend. And we go back, I don't know. I can't remember. I remember how we met. I do remember how we met.
How did we meet? Because let's see if this.
We met through when G-Hop was happening.
Yeah.
And I was doing stuff with G-Hop. I was singing and all that kind of stuff. And then Carl Ramsey, who led that movement, he started a new brand called Londonista. And he brought these amazing women together. One of the women was Kat. Also Roses. Who else? Chanel. So there's a few of us, and and our friendship just kind of came together from there and continued, and here we are.
I remember the first day I met you.
Do you? What happened?
I do. We were at the Akala Theatre, and there was an outside balcony, and I think this is when I was acting, and for some reason you were at the rehearsals, and then we just started talking outside, and then that was it. And then I think we met Londonista. So
and then so we were properly obviously
coincided.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has.
It has been a great time.
It has been great.
It has been great. And you are, how I've introduced you on the flyer, a supercar instructor, which just sounds like a dream. A chef, and not just an ordinary mum can cook good type of chef, like you go in, and a visual artist.
Yes, some people are like visual artists.
Yeah, because you know what?
I was like, you needed something. I knew you needed something to put me in. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I was to put artists, people know I know a lot of singers, and they would have expected you to be a singer.
So I can't do that.
Visual artist means your art is visual. It's what we look at, consumed by the eye.
There.
So yeah, and that's one of your wonderful masterpieces behind you. And yeah, so welcome to my Queendom.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And we also have this wonderful specimen of a gentleman called Emil. Emil, how did we meet? I know we've known each other for ages and ages and ages.
I was introduced to you by my good friend Julian Nelson, aka J2, when he decided to put together a project called Three Girls Go Raving. And he put together you and Tracy and Emma, who are going to give us a female perspective on what it's like to be a young clubbing Londoner.
Yes.
And I met him through that project, and this was a very long time ago. Very long time. This was pre-G-Hop, pre-Londonista, pre-EE, very long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I just remember you were just always cool. And I remember when, even a lot of you may or may not know that I did have quite, experience with my dad dying and stuff. And I remember Emil just helped me. Like, I was like, Emil, help me. And he just went all out, helped me with like any design work I needed doing and stuff. And you were just there. But you've always been a good friend, always been very supportive.
Thank you.
When my phone breaks down, I remember my phone wouldn't work as usual. I always have phone problems. Emil was here like a knight in shining armor with a phone for me to use. More
than car phone warehouse, love. It's longer than that. And I remember supporting Shah in a fledgling artist career with the trio named Soul Tray that she reminded me of the other day. And all of those things. And whatever you need, Shah, we'll always support you. Always.
100%.
Oh, man, I love you guys.
We got you.
Love you guys. So yes, these are my friends, everybody. So yes. On the fly, you'll see their handles for their amazing stuff. Make sure you follow them. You've got a million tabs open and I can't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Oh yeah, that's it. So what I wanted to ask, the first question I wanted to ask, what did you want to be when you were in school?
Emil.
Okay,
it's
not Emil.
When
it's my question.
All of us.
I didn't actually know.
Okay.
I just knew that I had to go to university. When I was growing up, basically you got drummed in your head that education was the key, which I still believe. It doesn't have to be formal education, but you do have to learn things. Yeah. And it literally was, I wasn't actually sure what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to go to university. I knew I had to study. Because at those days, when you're young and you're black and you went for a job, they'd look at a black guy with a degree the same way they'd look at a white guy with like GCSEs. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
that's the kind of levels that you're dealing with. So you just had to be educationally superior to even stand a chance. So even before we knew what you want to do, you asked your mum, she's like, you've got to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. You've got to do something. And so there wasn't really a vocation. And I remember saying to my mum, oh, that's boring. And she's like, you don't go to work to be entertained, you go to work to work. And then drummed that into me for years. And I was like, okay. So the answer is, I don't know. I just knew that I had to go to uni. I just had to. Even if I didn't want to, I had to go. But I did want to go. So.
Kat?
I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I wanted to be a fashion designer, and then my mum was wildly religious. Neither one of those careers was going to make it. So I had to think again. And I don't know if I came up with the answer. If, in all fairness, I did not. I mean, I just did education. I wasn't dumb, so I could just basically coast through courses. I went and I did interior and spatial design at a really prestigious university, a college and then university. Didn't like it because I couldn't really see where the money was going. Like, how was I going to make money out of this? And then I remember actually when I went to get into art school, my teacher at the time laughing at me because she just thought I wasn't going to get in. She's just like, she actually openly laughed at me. And then I laughed at her when I came back with an unconditional offer. I was like, but I still didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But I felt like at some point it would come to me. And I didn't want to sit down and not do something. So I just kept on doing until the pieces kind of fitted in. But I didn't have the desire to do something specific and then follow that road plan. I kind of just came to all the things that I'm doing.
Yeah, I wish I had like a plan. In school, I didn't know, primary school, had no idea, didn't think about the future whatsoever. Secondary school, I actually wanted to be a veterinary surgeon.
Ah,
Cat the vet, it's got a ring to it, you know.
Well,
maybe that's why you like Prince so much.
So I wanted to be a veterinary surgeon.
He likes light leopard print, so thing.
Oh, yeah, Prince, okay.
Not Prince as in like Purple Rain.
Right, yeah, because that makes more sense.
So I wanted to be a veterinary surgeon. And it didn't stop there. I didn't just want to be a veterinary surgeon. I wanted to work like literally in the jungle, looking after wild animals. Like, yeah, that was me.
Oh, sorry, I've got, you know what, my rice is burning.
All right, no,
I can't allow that.
Do your thingy, run, come back. That's fine. I wanted to be a vet to fix all the lions and tigers and bears, really. Didn't quite get the science grades that I needed to go to veterinary school, so I guess that wasn't going to work out. Then I ended up doing art A levels. I did fine art, so I should be doing what Kat's doing, and I did textile design as well. And from there I went to uni. I was doing art again, and then I went on to do textile design at uni and marketing. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, I was doing textile because mum here. Had no idea what I wanted to do, but I was just doing it. And when I left, I had no intentions of going into textile design. I did actually do like a tailoring course, and I did make some costumes for my group, Salt Tray.
Go on, big up Salt Tray.
And for my friend's dance group, he had a dance group, and I was helping make costumes, and that was as far as it went. Didn't really, I could probably pick it up again, but yeah. And then, yeah, and then what I'm doing now, I fell into it. Even the singing came late.
And in all those particular paths that you chose, was there a common theme in all of those? And when I say common theme, I mean, is it a case that you knew you just didn't want to do something ordinary, or you didn't want to be put in a box, or you wanted to do something that you knew that you could commit to, irrespective of what it is? You just had to sort of enjoy it to commit to it.
Yeah, I knew I loved animals.
Mm.
And I still do. And it was something all on my own. Like I didn't copy anyone, and all my friends were also like in animal. It was literally just me on my own. Like I was always alone anyway.
Okay.
And the textile thing, I didn't even mean to go into textiles. I meant to go into graphic design.
Okay.
That's what I was supposed to do, because I was good at drawing, etc. So I thought, right, let's try and do something with this. I just knew that I was creative. Don't ask about the animal, and I loved animals. I don't know how that all came together, but I knew I was creative. I was always good. I was quite academic as well, but my attention span wasn't great, so I needed to be creative because it was always something new. So I thought I was good at maths actually, and then I decided to I thought I was good enough to do maths A level.
Okay.
That's a different life. It's not GCSE at all. Like, I started that and I got a year through. I said, what is wrong with these people? I can't do this. And I dropped it. A-level maths, that's nuts. But, yeah.
And I suppose I've got a question for both of you now.
Yeah.
What do you remember your entrepreneurial waking? Do you remember the moment it was when you decided that you needed to earn an income outside of the regular framework of just literally going to get a Saturday job or going to work for somebody or anything like that?
Yeah, I was 16. Sorry, that was just...
No, go on.
I can see you nodding, like you were like, it was coming through your mind.
I am an ideas machine. Like, I had my first idea. This is when internet cafes were a thing. And I was going to have an internet cafe in Peckham, and but we weren't going to just be an internet cafe. We were going to do help people start up businesses. It was going to serve food. Obviously, the food thing is a major theme for me. And I remember plotting, I ran everything in my head and then did nothing with it. I talked myself out of it because I was like, I'm 16. How am I going to get the money? How am I going to do this? But I'm always great with the ideas. It's just that the thing that takes you over the edge has been the self-belief in myself. And I didn't get that until I was much older. But I've always had really good ideas about how just to make money outside of the normal workplace. I don't think I've ever wanted to be an employee.
I think,
what about you, Shah?
I remember my first job, my first proper job was working in Peacocks. It was the flagship store in Dalston, and it was just opening. So I was like one of the first employees there, and I loved it. I worked there at weekends. So it was all young people. So it was literally, we just went there, had fun, and messed around the whole time. And it's weird because I didn't think much further than that. I wasn't thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I just wasn't thinking like that. I was just enjoying my life, enjoying myself. And I think I realized that I think I was quite a connector of people. I think that's been the common theme across my life. And I remember in J2 called me when I was singing a little bit. J2 comes up again, and he wanted me to support Music Soul Child in concert.
I remember that.
Yeah. So at this point,
I still have that on video, by the way. You remember?
I've never seen that.
I have. I've seen it a lot. I've got it on video.
We were so cheeky.
Do
you want to share it with Shah?
I don't
remember. Share my kingdom.
I must have looked like I.
Is this the one at Troxy?
I remember how I felt.
No.
Shepherd's Bush Empire. Shepherd's Bush Empire.
Yeah.
But before I actually did that, I was asked twice, right? So the first time I was asked to do it, at that point I'd written 2 songs that weren't released. Go away, Trevor. You will never ever see this video.
It's not actually up to you, babe. It's not actually up to you, innit? Trev, don't worry.
Emil.
Got it.
So the first time he asked, I literally had written 2 songs. They weren't released. So I'm like, who, me? Like, you want me to support Music Soul Child? Are you crazy? That was my response. I was like, no, can't do that, obviously. And I said, I can get you some artists. And that's what I did. I've always had friends that were artists that were trying to get music out. So I gathered a few of my friends and I'm like, look, I've got this opportunity. And I got them to do the show. They done the show. I was happy. They was happy. I didn't want to be on that stage. Fab says, hope the rice is okay.
It's fine. I fed my child. It's good.
As long as the child is fed, we're good.
She's fine. She's quiet.
Yeah. So that happened. Then he came back to do another concert, I think the next year or 2 years later. And I was asked again. And I was just like, this is a bit mad because I haven't done much more with my music. But I'm being asked again. I can't say no again. That's just ridiculous, especially when all my friends are trying so hard to get somewhere. And I'm being offered these opportunities, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I remember, I think my friend Liz, backed me up. And I think, was it Junior? Was it a guy? You got the video, so you must remember.
It was Liz, big up Miss Jai, and it was I
feel like it was J Love.
I can't remember. I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, anyway, so we did that. I was so scared. I was just like, I just need to just get through this. And I did it. And the weird thing is, after that, like months, even years after that, I had random people reminding me of that. I remember seeing you and, you know, even remembering how I introduced the song and everything like that. I was like, so embarrassing. I'm just not that artist girl.
Did you know what? Every time he came over, I always expected that you would be on the bill.
Oh.
But it's weird how introverted you are, Char.
No,
like,
I'm
it's so
right.
It's weird.
Exactly. For someone that knows so many people and does so many things, to find out in later life you're an introvert, we were a bit like,
they're like,
okay.
Whatever.
Well, I didn't put you as an introvert. I think you're an ambivert because I think one day you're out there, next day you're at home, you're not answering the door, you're not answering the phone, you're not doing anything. It is literally maybe 60-40 for you sometimes, depending on what time we catch you and where.
Yeah, it's weird. I do like
diagnosis.
I do like social things, but I think when it comes to introvert, it's not always about being quiet. It's about energy. It's about my energy. I get drained when I'm around a lot of people. I love to be around people, but I'm going to switch off in a bit. Like, I'm literally going to be drained. Hey, Nathaniel. I just can't do it for long. Like, I'll literally shut down. But extroverts, they get energy from being around people. So I think that's how
I'm always trying to work out where I am on the scale. I feel like we have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit.
They have that conversation all the time.
Same.
I know you do.
Energy.
But yeah, so taking all that into account, and changing the subject back to following careers.
Right. Yeah.
What was, I suppose, because if I tell you a little bit about my background, I've always known that I've wanted to do something creative, but I never started doing things creatively. I fell into them. For instance, when we were younger, we always wanted to go to parties, and we'd hang around West End and couldn't get into clubs and stuff. So me and my friends got together and said, why don't we do our own parties? And we're like, where are we going to do these parties? So what we used to do was we used to find empty houses and we would get into these empty houses, and sometimes there'd be no gas or electricity or water, and you'd have to put the gas on, the electric on, and the water on, and you'd tidy up this house and you'd make flyers and you'd be like, come to my party, come to my dance. and then you go and you charge 2 or 3 quid on the door, and you'd have this party, and then the police will come. Black bags on the windows, keep your cups, all that stuff. And the police will come and be like, is this your house? And you're like, yeah. And they'll be like, where's the rent agreement? You're like, I'll get it for you on Monday. We're just having a housewarming, and then leave you alone, and all this kind of stuff. And from that, we kind of progressed into doing clubs. And then one day, my friend who used to do our flyers couldn't do the flyers. So I was like, we need to learn how to do it. So I cracked open a copy of CorelDRAW and a copy of Photoshop, and I learned how to do these flyers. And I had an amazing tutor called J2, or Julia Nelson. Big up, Mr. Nelson.
Just starring to this thing.
I know. He's just the star of the show.
He needs to teach me something, like.
Yeah. And so he literally taught me, and to a point where I was able to sustain myself for a little while as a graphic designer through the skills that I had learned and the skills that he taught me. So where someone might be a plumber, an electrician, or something, I managed to conjure up money when I didn't have none by creating art for these people, whether it be flyers or posters or brochures or whatever. And I did that full time, and it did my brain in. And I was like, I'm not cut out for this. Like, you're getting phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yo, bruv, change my flyer. I need this, I need that. It's got to be ready in 2 hours. And it's just it. Because I was trading at the bottom end of the market, if I'm truly honest, it was so much stress, no money. And it taught me a lot, though. It gave me the grounding. It taught me things like, if you stick to one price, you're screwed. Because you do a flyer for someone, you charge them 50 quid, and then they want 4 changes. You spent an hour in that flyer, so you've earned 50 quid. They want 2 changes, that's 2 hours, that's 25 quid. They want more changes, that's 4 hours, that's £12.50. And then you start to work for minimum wage. You look at £3-4 an hour on this one flyer. And then you remember, they'll go to someone else who charges them £49. They don't care. Like, so you tend to learn your own worth and your own value through things like that. And that's initially what gave me the strength to know that if I needed to, I can go on my own. And then I'd get jobs. I've been working since I was like 11 or 12. And you do whatever, because the idea is, I always looked at, work was not very good to do the good things that you wanted to do. Whether that was rave, buy trainers, or other things that other people do, I don't know about. And just general things like that. Like, it fueled whatever lifestyle you chose. And it's only later in life, and I realized you can actually merge your lifestyle and your income together. And then you start doing things. And also, you in the creative industry as well, the issue is, because you enjoy it so much, people expect you to do it for free because you enjoy it. And to the point where there's a movement. I think Nina Malone started No Free Work movement, or I can't remember what the exact hashtag
I did so much for free.
But Nina Malone from Dope Black Mum, she literally started a thing where she just was like, nah, we're not doing anything for free anymore, because your creativity is getting drained and you still need to live. Tesco's doesn't take kudos. Tesco's doesn't accept exposure. Do you see what I mean? So when people are like, like, I can expose you, you're like, 14 people. How you gonna like expose, like, put them in a bigger level? So because of that, and again, you learn so many things. I got made redundant once, and as part of the course, you go to this kind of business school, and he literally said, work out exactly how much you spend a month, and then add in what you want for clothes, holidays, things that you do to enjoy yourself. You divide that, you divide it by 4 for the week and 5 for the day, and that's the minimum amount you need to earn to sustain your lifestyle. So if anyone asks you to do anything, it's got to be that cash amount plus. And that's the only way you're actually going to survive. And if you can't make that cash amount doing that, then you do something else. It's not about you, like, and then as you develop in your field and as you get better, it's about your worth. People, it doesn't matter, for instance, that it takes someone 8 hours to do something and it takes you 10 minutes. You're not paying for their 8 hours. They're paying you because you can do it in 10 minutes. Because of the 10 or 12 years, it got you to the point that you could do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what they're paying for. They're not paying for the actual time you spend. They're paying for your expertise and your knowledge and your wisdom that you've amassed. And you've got to kind of work. So you set your own budgets and stuff like that. I know I've skipped a bit, but these are all hard lessons that I've learned the hard way. been bumped,
Yeah.
been you worked, you spent like you've allocated 4 hours for a job and it's taking you like 24 or 48, and then you work for people, you put your heart and soul into things, they don't want to pay you, or they're arguing about this and that, and then you think, oh, what have I done? You realize you haven't done anything. It's tight. You know what I mean? And then also as well, when you develop your own business, the hardest thing is to say no, and that's one thing you've got to learn how to do. Because people are like, oh, I'll do this for me. You can do it loads of times. But for instance, why are you going to do 5 jobs for 100 quid? You can do one for 500, 600, a grand or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's based on your quality and your view. So, and that's what people have to catch up. And you have to realize that sometimes you do just have to walk away from things as well. And like I said, in my entrepreneurial journey.
Oh my gosh. I've done so much for free, right?
Yeah.
Especially when, you know, the days that I was a promoter. So, and the thing is, I was only got into doing club promotions because I love raving. That was simply it. And I loved going out to clubs with my friends, dancing. That was my thing, just enjoying myself. And then, you know, and then I had a lot of friends. So obviously different promoters would see this. This girl comes and she brings a lot of people. Let's see if she can, you know what I mean, bring more people, give her a guest list. It started off like that, like, oh, I'll give you a guest list if you bring a certain amount of people. I'm like, yeah, fine. I didn't care about the money. I was bringing them. I was doing all of that. Then I started to do, but this was more West End. And then I started to hate West End. And I said, I'm not coming back here. You know, black people are not really welcome, so I'm not interested. So then I started doing more black events, I guess, and putting them on myself, working with different people. But there was a lot, like, putting them on, obviously, yeah, I'd make money for myself. But then I would always be helping other people. Char, can you do this? I would be that person after clubs outside flyering. Like I was literally doing it myself. I'd be outside with all the man them, you know, in the winter with my hood up with all the guys. I was doing it all myself. But then it would be another guy. Are you flying there? Oh, can you take my flyers as well? Or
yeah, exactly. You know, so you end up with this flyer pack.
Or they give me a box of tickets and be like, you can have 2 tickets, you and your friends, if you can sell the stupid things. Like now, I'd love for someone to ask me to do that. I'd be happy to try it. But you know what? I don't regret it. Like I would never, that would never happen now. I don't regret it because I learned a lot. And it also put me in a good place with people because people know that I've helped them so much. So they've always got my back. I've got a lot of people that have my back. Do you know what I mean? So I don't regret any of that. I learned a lot. And then, I kind of carried on with events, went into doing live events. My girl, Sarah, we were doing concerts like Layla Hathaway and Rafael Sadiq and people like that. And then, that kind of slowed down. And then I got serious about 9 to 5, trying to have a 9 to 5 career. So, and then fell into HR, and that's what I do now. I kind of fell into that, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And even now, I'm still thinking about a possible career change, segueing it into something else. I don't know, but I don't know.
Funny you should say HR because you've always done HR. HR's role is basically to look after the well-being and the flow and like financial, personal, monetary well-being of the employees, which is what you did. You looked after everyone you've done, you connected what you did, you found employment opportunities, training opportunities in whatever guise. Follow this brother fly and he'll teach you how to do it. Or this brother does posters, it'll teach you the best way to put the cable ties on the lamp post without getting caught. All that kind of stuff. Whatever it is, it's the same thing. So it's almost like you were born to do it. It's something that you've always done.
And I do. Fab says there's no friends in business. Yes and no.
You know what? If you were I don't believe in that. I think
I know what you mean, though. I know what angle she's coming from. Like, the freeness.
I don't think there was back in the day, but I feel like the best relationships that I'm cultivating now for my business are all my friends. Like I work with Emil.
Yeah.
And that's because
like people you trust.
You have to trust them. You have to trust them. You don't necessarily, if you're building something from scratch, you don't want to have to be building trust as well with the people that you're working with. So if I can bypass that by working with a friend, then I will do. And literally that's what's happening at the moment. Everybody I'm working with is a friend that I trust.
Yeah, and
I think for me it's slightly different because the people I work with are amazing at their jobs. They're really good. They're willing to learn. They're experts in their field. But it just so happens that I'm friends with them as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's the same thing. You build trust, and it's the main thing that you know you can leave someone with something and they'll just get it done. And then you realize that your friendship group have then become industry leaders in their fields. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I don't know if he's still on, but like Tony, Anthony, Mr. Play, I've seen him graft and graft and graft and graft, get where he is. To the point is not many people know what he's doing, but if you're in the industry, you know exactly what he's doing, and you know who he's speaking to, and you know the levels that he's come, literally from SW2 to the world. So you're like, or SW9, whatever, bro. But it's, and you realize that hard graft and determination, and you see that in people, and obviously that makes you gravitate towards people anyway.
Yeah.
So you're going to find that your newer friends you meet are going to have a similar ethos to you anyway.
Yeah.
Like, because if you see someone and they're like, oh, that's a great idea, but it's long, or I can't be bothered, you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? You do your thing, I'm doing mine, innit? So, like, I've got to go on and I've got to progress and I've got to grow. And for instance, one of the main reasons why I love working with Kat is she was like, I want to do this. And I've learned how to do this, but I've got to hear. She wasn't like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah, can you?
You know what I mean? She put the work in and she did it. And I'm just like, and that's what you need, that focus, that vision. Because sometimes you all just need a little bit of help just to get over the top, over the top. Just so, because you end up plateauing.
I feel like you have really, like, I'm not going to get emotional, but I feel like you're invaluable. I might, but Emil has been invaluable in my journey, because in the moments where I've doubted myself, I've not known. I started my business recently, a legit company. Thank you. But when I didn't know how to charge, I went to Emil. When I didn't know how to edit, I went to Emil. Like, I probably should be paying you in More Than Love.
What should? What do you mean should?
I have paid him. I actually have paid him as my friend. Can you please vouch for this? I have paid him. But it makes me proud that I have paid my friend to do a job. But I value him so much because I'm learning from him. And you're kind of like sort of a mentor as well at the same time, Emil, because you've got all this experience in this field that I'm working in, but you've got, 5-10 years on me. And it's so it's just nice to know that I've got somebody I'm working with who's got my back and who I can also learn from. I love you.
Love you too. Oh, and you, Shah.
Oh, great.
But I agree, and I think. Sorry,
I'm conscious of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know, Emil, you've got stuff to do because you're a busy guy. I did want to hear about what you're both doing at the moment. That seems like it could be a hobby, but you're actually really doing it. Like, Kat, you love fast cars. I remember when you were doing the blogs, the F1 and all this stuff that I didn't understand it at all. But you would send me something and say, Shah, can you just read through this? And I'll read it and I'll be like, yeah.
Seems legit. I was like, just check my spelling and punctuation, please.
I'll be like, yeah, seems great to me. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand cars. I don't know anything about it. You go, girl. Like, it was but I love that you just went out and done. You wasn't following a crowd at all. You was out there on your own, in an industry that is full of men. You know, and I could imagine, what was that like being in such a male heavy industry? Did you struggle, or have you?
Do you know what? Yes and no. I feel like I struggled more because of my own self. Yes, I was in the pit lane and there weren't that many ladies. I was in the media suite, there weren't that many ladies. Or I get confused. I mean, I remember one time, the last time I went to the Mercedes team car launch in Silverstone, there was another woman of colour, and I got mistaken for her. They came and spoke Spanish to me, and I was like, okay. It's not me. It's the only other woman that's over there that's a bit brown. Yeah. It has been frustrating, but at the same time, it just means that I have to work a little bit harder. Especially when I was doing Formula One, it's so technical, and people get really, really shitty about numbers. And when I'm coming from a passion perspective, I just like cars that go around really fast, and I like the thrill of it. And they want to know in what split second Lewis Hamilton went across the line in front of Vettel. So it's that kind of stuff that made it difficult. But then also, I'm a girl from Peckham who was born in her granddad's house in Jamaica, that I'm now in Barcelona, or I'm in Silverstone, and it's just that feeling of belonging that I really struggled with. And then I had unique problems that I didn't know anybody else who had those problems, communicating with the Formula One governing body, just problem solving these kind of situations was the thing that really, I think, held me back at the time. Not necessarily the gender thing. The gender was there, but I feel like I'm the kind of person that I kind of push through anyways. But I'm guilty of allowing myself to be stopped, which now I wouldn't be. But back then, when I was just like, I don't really belong, I allowed myself to be paused because of it.
And what I wanted to ask Emil as well, because you're a filmmaker. Did you find, what type of struggles did you find trying to move into that space? Like,
I couldn't move into that space at all. The reason I was independent is because absolutely no one would give me a second chance. But you remember, I'm coming from an analog thing where they do things on videotapes and film and stuff, and that was super expensive. The money was a barrier. So I couldn't get in because of that. I couldn't get anywhere near the BBC, couldn't get anywhere near films, couldn't do anything. So I remember literally J2's mum had a video camera, and we picked it up and we started filming raves, and we started this project called Tommy Dynamite. And that was a very long time ago. That was a kind of SBTV before SBTV. And we went to all these raves and we filmed, because it just so happened around the turn of the century, all my friends turned into superstars. So, for instance, I hung out with Biggs and Nigel and my mate from West, Lonio, and all that. And then all of a sudden, Lonio's in the top 10, Nigel's Shorty Blitz, Biggs is Kelly LaRock. Do you know what I mean? They're all doing these amazing things. And I'm like, yeah, follow me here, follow me there. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I come out of my big buff camera like this. Like, the thing was huge and it took rubbish pictures. And we put it all together, and I'd make these DVDs and have to do it overnight, because they took my computer like 15, 16 hours to make a 10-minute DVD and stuff like that. And then you'd make them, and then we'd put them on the internet, and they'd be this big, because no one actually had the bandwidth. They'd be tiny. And we started, and I remember I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with it, and that was when I was like, I want to do this. Then I ran out of money, because them shits are expensive. Like Firewire cards were £400 and things like that. And I just literally ran out of money. And again, I was like, I spent maybe about 6 or 7 years out of it. I was like, oh, I've had enough. And then something just told me, just try again. Just try again. And yeah, there's a particular situation that happened where basically I had to find like £700 or £800 extra a month. And I was like, shit. And I'm working full time. So I was like, shit, how am I going to do that? And then I was like, so I started to film this here, film this wedding there, do this, do that. And eventually I realized I kept making the money. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And then I got made redundant. And I was like, because you're not sure whether to be like, can I do it? Can I not? Am I ready? Have I got the confidence? No, I didn't have a choice. They just said, you don't work here anymore. And I said, cool. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what I started to do from then.
Wow.
And then I used to dabble in both sides.
If he wasn't made redundant, you probably would have just stayed.
No, I probably wouldn't have. I would have been sacked. I was not in it at all. But I stayed in IT because then I realized when I stopped working, I realized that I could work less, earn more money to then pursue my passion. And I became a contractor. And I was like, this is great. And then I would just disappear, work on stuff, come back, work in IT, work in other stuff, work in IT, work in other stuff. But then after a little while, after like living all over the world and all that kind of stuff, I was a bit like, nah, I want to stay here and I want to actually finish. And when I had the idea of Soul Seekers, I lived in 3 different countries when I made Soul Seekers.
I remember when he was in Germany.
Yeah, I was in Germany, I was in Holland, I was all over the shop. And I was like, I need to focus and I need to stay somewhere and I need to do this. So I said, all right, put the IT thing down and do this. And it's been an immense struggle, but it's probably the best decision I've ever made. Because it means that I will get to build something. And it's not just doing it now, it's a legacy. Because remember, you can't give your kids your job, can you? You know what I mean? If you drop dead, they got insurance, they got money and someone to replace you in a second. But when you've got your own company, when you've got your own legacy and you've got something you can actually hand back, because my thing's all about handing back as well, which is why we've always run mentoring schemes, or I'll always bring people with me on shoots. I'll always do something that I can give back to the others. The same way that people help me, I want to be able to help them. That's why I always try and help people when I can.
And I think you're right, Emil, because when I had my daughter, I had Maya, my brain changed. I did not, I just, the money I was making in a normal job, it didn't make sense. And I'm working with really, really rich people. And I'm at the end of the month, I'm struggling. And I'm like, this can't be life. So as soon as I had Maya, I started F1cat.com. And then she has come to Formula E races. She's come F1 testing. She has been all over the place because as far as I'm concerned, it is my obligation to show her that she can be exactly whatever she wants to be. It's not the restraint. It's not going to be like my mum saying, oh, no, you can't do this. I'm not going to put a limit on that girl.
She's going to be a little superstar. Like before we actually went live and you was doing something cooking, she came online to me, started to interview me. Like, what are you doing today? I was like, well, I'm fine. How are you?
She's into cars. So she's chucked out all her toys, only kept the cars and Lego. So it's about, and now she's starting to design her own Lego.
The theatre set that she built, I'm just so amazed by that. She built a theatre set, like,
because she went to the Lion King once, you know. So I'm proud of her. But yeah, I just feel like next generation, it's like people talk about generational wealth, but I think you have to equip your children with the ability that, or the thought that they can be absolutely anything that they want to be. There's no limits. Like, we're suffering now because our parents suffered, so there's no point to pass that suffering on to our kids anymore. Let them live, let them be whatever they can be. Like, there's time to make mistakes, and there's time to, you know, be as all that you can be.
And also exposing them to different things, because some people don't know. Like, for example, as a young person that I know and loved watching football and stuff, but I know that he's good with, I'll probably link him with you, Emil. I know that he's good with media and stuff, because he would follow his dad to the radio station and he'd get him to film him while he's doing it. And then he'd take it home and edit it. And he was doing this when he was like 14, you know. So he had that in him. And then when he was finishing school, he wasn't sure what to do. And I was trying to help him choose you know, what subjects he was going to you know, to go on to, and he was looking at things like football, and I'm like, you can do that after school. Like, I was like, there's other ones, you know, like, what about you know. And I'm like, look at media, because I knew that he already had that that, you already have that skill, you'll be ahead of everyone there. Do you know what I mean? You know, I just don't want to be there when you try and tell your dad you're going to do football. This is actually when he was choosing what to do at college. I don't want to be there when you try and tell your dad you're trying to do football in college. You can do that, or let's not do that.
By the side later on.
Yeah, he went on to do that, and he also did business studies, and he just got a distinction for his.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, look, your brain's there, but you didn't even know that I was there. You didn't even. They just need to be exposed to different experiences to know what they're.
No, 100%.
And that's what other people do. Like other communities, they do that. They. I think we are focused on security, like just get a job so that you know you can pay your bills. But what if you don't need to have bills? What if you can create wealth so you can own your house outright? You buy whatever car you want. You take as many holidays through the year that you want to do. Maybe you can go to Bahamas and work from there. Like this is the kind of thing that we need to expose our kids to, so that they know that there's no limit apart from the limit that you put on yourself.
Create music or books or courses that literally just pay themselves. Create them, put them out there, and then they're just
we have the lack mindset that things are going to run out. Like that's why I think some people are so competitive. Like there's 20 different brands of bread on the shelf, but we might do 20 different things, but we're starting to compete against each other to push one another down, when you don't need to do that. Every bread, Kingsmill and Hobbies, they're all doing well, you know, they're all selling as much bread as each other. So you might as well just allow yourself into that mindset of abundance and help your neighbor, help your children to kind of progress at the same rate. You don't need to push each other down.
And then at the same time, you might be doing the same thing, but you are you. So whatever you do, people are buying into you as a brand as well. So no one else can be your brand.
Exactly. You have to be confident within. I think if there's one thing to teach the younger generation, it's about being confident in you. I'm Kat, you're Char, you're Emil, but we are all experiencing our life through different ways. If I told you to take a piece of paper and draw a circle, you're going to draw that circle completely different than I am. So that's your value. You have a different value to me. You don't need to compete with me to try and get ahead. It's not the way.
And on that note, ladies, thank you very much. I have to leave.
Bye, Emil.
Wow. Bye, Emil. Thank you very much. Char, appreciate it. Kat, pleasure as always. And I hope that the viewers had as much fun as I did listening to you two. And I'm glad that you helped me understand my career progression path as well. And I appreciate you both, ladies, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emil. We've been trying to work out this. No, he's gone.
It's just
he was supposed to be gone like 10 minutes ago. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove. Oh, if I do that. Okay, so I've got Kat. What I just wanted to do before we went, but we ran out of time, was to show a clip, trailer of the film that he released last year. I think I should still do that, because I think people should watch it. Because I as much as is this Emil trying to come back? As much as I was saying I didn't understand your industry, the whole racing cars and stuff, I didn't understand this whole trainers industry. Like, it's actually a whole culture. I'm like,
yeah,
you guys,
it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's wild. So basically, even though he's gone, Emil released a documentary.
A documentary. So it's a feature-length documentary charting the sneaker culture, which is worth £4 billion in the UK. And obviously the reseller market is also huge on top of that. So it's the culture, the sneaker culture from I think the 70s until present day.
Oh, great. I'm so glad.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. You did. So I'm going to show the trailer for his for the film. Trev says, yep, show it. So I've been really trying to impress myself with this technology, and I'm going to do this. do this. And
bigger than maybe some people think. I mean, one of the things that changed my life actually is reading probably those articles in the source, Confessions of a Sneaker Addict. What might be one, I thought, wow, here's a dude in New York, and I'm not just an alien sort of dude. He's like, yeah, there's at least one more dude out there, and he's talking about other dudes out there who want to be fresh with their kicks. It's just like a habit of shoes. That used to be our internet. We were just looking through old catalogs. Part of the television was our trainers, sneaking out trainers that no one else had. They kind of emerged out of just general love of like being into trainers.
I was the only person I knew that was into trainers. I didn't know anyone that was into trainers like me.
Where'd you get those? What are they? Blah blah blah. Connected to fashion, art, music.
You know, all of it kind of stems from the trainers.
Because there's an obsession there. It's, you know, it's connected to an obsession, an addiction, whatever you want to call it. Back then, you get trainers to get the girls.
There aren't as many females. It is a very male-dominated world.
You only get a pair of kicks, and you must have queue outside the store that you can't get them. Using the queue, some of them are Russo. Sneaker brands benefit from that because it feels this hype. It's like this idea of, you know, everyone being at a release wanting to get that shoe, sort of desperate to get that shoe. And that's what that fuels within people, that kind of idea that I will drag someone out the way, or I will push it, you know, I will treat someone badly in many ways just to have that shoe. It's like a rebellion, like a sort of statement to say, here we are, this is what we wear.
yeah. Oops, I've started again. So that was a trailer for that film.
Seekers.
It's a yeah.
I know so much because I did it when the film came out. I did an interview with Emil. So
right. Oh yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. It's all right. It's all in the head.
So you know, I'm so glad you do. And that you can watch. And I realized that you can actually like rent it and buy it on YouTube and lots of different platforms. And I know a couple girls who actually love trainers like that. Yeah, I was never that person.
I was that girl. Sure, I'm surprised.
Never.
I remember my first pair of Air Maxes that I bought when I was 16. I had a job. My first job was in June shoes in High Street, Kensington, and I took £70. Like I'm sure that I only got paid like £90 for like my paycheck, and I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to Foot Locker. I'm gonna buy these trainers. And then I realized that like literally after my first wear that I could have bought them in kids because my feet are 4.5, and I didn't need to spend women's money on trainers ever.
Yeah, if I could.
Yeah.
If I could. What I also wanted to do. This is where I get excited with technology now. I was thinking I was going to show the intro to my car life stories because you can follow Kat's work. My car life stories on YouTube,
or car stories as everyone just calls it, car stories.
Yeah. So hold on. What's the No, let me show it first.
Okay.
Let me show it first. It's literally just a few seconds. So
it isn't very long. Right?
It's just I'm just going to show the intro because they can go to YouTube to watch the whole. You know, I'm using two screens. I'm trying to do the most right now. Here we go.
Hey.
Mr. Sheldon Edwards, aka Kitty Cut.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my colour.
Yep. The pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked you is that we've been 2 years with each other.
I'm gonna make you watch myself. It's so cringe.
I know. That's like me. After this, when it goes out, I don't watch it again. It's just
put it away.
So from the fast cars F1 Did I even say it right? All of that stuff. How did you segue into doing My Car Life Story?
So I wanted to keep my Formula One dream alive. And I didn't know how I was going to do that. And then one day I had this brain spark. I thought, okay, maybe I could work a way to interview Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel. I mean, I've interviewed Lewis. I mean, I was in a press conference and I've asked a question multiple times, but to sit down and have a proper conversation with Lewis or one of the other drivers, I basically devised a way that I could interview them, and that was My Car Life Stories. So cars have always been like my passion. I worked for BMW in Park Lane, and I remember this thing about the guys always reversing the car into the showroom, and I'm thinking, I could do that. I could do it really well and not screw up as much as they did. So Char, you're frozen. I don't know if she's frozen for anybody else, but she's frozen for me. I'm going to keep on talking until she sends me a smoke signal to say that she's not frozen. But basically, I wanted to marry up the cars and the interviewing, and that's how I decided, oh, it's just me. I don't know if she's coming back. Am I supposed to do this by myself? Anyways, so I wanted to marry up doing both things. And I feel like sometimes when you have a dream, it doesn't just stop because you can't find a way through. So I created My Car Life Stories as a way to continue my F1 dream until a moment where a window would open up and I would be able to make my way back into the industry, or I would be at a level where Lewis would come to me or one of the teams would come to me and I would get back into it. So that's basically what happened. And I don't know where she's at. I can't see any of the chats either. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can get Shah. What's happened? So I'm just talking to her on WhatsApp and see if she can come back. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. No, just still me by myself. I can't even ask questions or see questions. Okay, thanks, Trev. So yeah, that's basically what happened in terms of starting My Car Life Stories. And I thought it would be a good way to, but the tagline for My Car Life Stories is basically meeting ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And there are so many people out there who, like the last person I interviewed, Sheldon Edwards, who is a barber to Usain Bolt. And there we go, there's Shah. I fill the gap.
The whole thing was a lot
technology done it.
I'm doing too much of the. I'm trying to do too much.
So I was just chatting a lot.
Yes, that's all good. It's all good. People seem to be still liking it.
Yeah.
Hi, Annie. Where were you up to?
I was basically on the moon and talking about the moon landing. No, but basically I was just saying that the reason I started My Car Life Stories is to kind of keep the F1 dream going. And the tagline is meeting ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And with the last interview with Sheldon, who is Usain Bolt's barber, Sterling's barber, is the fact that you meet these people who grind really hard. He works 16 hours a day plus travels to multiple countries, and it's like a cheat. I get to sit down with these people and they tell me their secrets, and then I get to adapt to what I've heard, and I'm like, okay, fine. So you say you don't give up and you're not scared and fear isn't a thing for you, and then okay, so maybe I have a bit more confidence in myself, and then I get to share that with people who are like-minded, because my Car Life Stories is quite a positive platform. People there are entrepreneurial and they want to hear these stories, and it doesn't necessarily have to come from a celebrity. There's lots of celebrity stories out there. I'm not turning anybody down, not turning Ovi or any other delicious man down for an interview, or AJ or anybody like that. But I feel like if you meet somebody who is doing something just normally but doing it to like a really high level, it's easier to connect, it's easier to understand the journey, and then you can elevate yourself. So that's what I'm doing.
That's true. You've always just kept going, and you know, I just love that you don't follow the crowd at all. Like, it's just you. Like, even we might be talking and then I'll see something completely.
Oh, she's gone. I can't hear her. I'm gonna guess that what Char's saying is I don't even think about what I'm doing. I'm quite. There we go. This is back.
Did I go? It looked for me. You froze, and I was like, "Am I gone? Is Kat gone? Is it?"
I don't know, but I'm still here.
For some reason, it doesn't like it.
No.
I was just saying that you've always gone against the grain and just done your own thing, and even when you're quiet, you're doing something. Because I'll blink and there'll be a new video or a new interview, and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, done this."
Yeah.
Okay. So
if I disappear, then my mind is always working. It's like I have anxiety. I mean, when I wasn't doing my Car Life Stories, I would wake up and I'd think, what the hell am I doing? Why am I not doing that? And I would literally battle through all the demons in my head that were keeping me stuck. And there would be many, like, I can't source a car. Like for the last interview with Sheldon, so I developed a car partnership, because obviously these are quite high-end cars. I've had Teslas, I've had Range Rovers, I've had really, really nice cars, but they come from somewhere. They're not part of my collection that I have in the back. And sometimes it's I mean, I have a few, but sometimes it's logistical stuff, getting a car or getting the person to interview. Sometimes I'm really scared about approaching people to do it. And then I have to pull myself out. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year is to ask for help. And when you ask for help, it comes in abundance. I had somebody for this shoot, someone style me because I hate shopping. Trevor, who is on, knows how much it bores me. Like, I don't understand how these wags like to go shopping every minute. I'm like, what do you do? But it's like the help keeps on coming. So I'm spending less time in my own head, defeating my own objectives, and just getting out there, being consistent, throwing, like, I'm doing an interview tomorrow. I had one last week or 2 weeks ago, and I'm editing and basically just keep churning it, keep putting myself out there, making myself uncomfortable in some of the things that I'm doing. But the more time I spend uncomfortable, the more productive I am. And the more interactions I have, the more accountable I am to these people that I'm building relationships with online, who are also interested in the journey to become successful.
I did have another question I wanted to ask you while I try and navigate through these 10 million windows. You know, there's the cars, there's the drawings, etc. But there's also the cooking. So we have Big Chef, Little Cook.
Yes.
So
tell you about. Okay. So Big Chef, Little Cook is me. I'm the big chef, and there's a little cook, which is my child, my daughter, and then there's my mum, who is kind of involved in there also. And when I grew up in Jamaica, my house was always full of people looking for my mum's food.
Yeah.
Because my mum can cook.
Mm.
My child's coming. Yeah. Go and get some in the fridge. Okay, you can wash your hands. Bye.
What's the point of me to wash my hands?
Bye. Anyways, so the little chef over there. So when I grew up, my house was always full of people looking for my mum's food because the woman can cook. And to pass that on to me, I learned to cook when I was quite small. It would just be the two of us in the house. So all she could do is pass on that knowledge. So everybody knows that I'm quite intricate with my food. Visually, I like it to look good. And then there has to be layers to the flavor as well. I think it's part of my creativity because if I go to the supermarket, then I have maybe one idea and then suddenly there will be a flow of, okay, it's got to go with this. And then I start to visualize it. Sometimes I draw it on the plate. Like every supper club, it's been drawn. So it will look precise when it's finished because I feel like, especially coming from the Caribbean, there's never been enough respect put on its name. They think of it as low end or just home cooking, and people try to put garden peas in rice and peas, and it's disrespectful. And not only that, because our food is a food of survival. Generations of slaves lived on this food. It was worse cuts. It was literally things you'd feed to dogs. But for somehow people in the Caribbean made it flavoursome. They elevated it. So for me, it's like, as a Caribbean migrant, it's my duty to bring it to the next level, put my ideas in it. If it's fused with, some other food that I like, then it's all good. But when I deal with food, I deal with it on, it's a homage. It's a homage to my ancestors. It's a homage to my family. But I want to make sure that whatever I produce in our supper clubs is always to the highest standards.
Yeah. So the supper club, you mentioned it, but I don't think there's people that don't know what that is. So I haven't been yet. So I'm like waiting for the next one because I haven't been yet.
Yes. So I mean, COVID came and shut that shit down. And I want to do the next one, but I want to do it when it's really safe. I don't want people to have to be separated. I don't like the glass and I don't like this visor thing. So we will do it, and I once everything's over with COVID, then we'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
But there was a waiting list, and I was really chuffed actually how quickly it was kind of taken off. I think I had somebody message me and say, like, when's the next one? She wanted to fly in for it, and I was like, okay.
Oh,
okay. I think it went really well. Yeah.
You kept the standard up, and do you know what I mean? And I think that's an important thing because people will pay for the experience.
Yeah. I feel like
you can go anywhere for a cheap meal that probably tastes great, but it's the whole experience. It's something different. The food, the quality, you're meeting the chef, all of that kind of stuff people want. So I'm looking forward to that because I will be at the next one.
I could. I mean, I think the regulations still say that, I can have some people just round.
I can vouch for Kat's cooking. I know that I fall asleep as soon as I've eaten. That's how I know how good it is. When my eyes can't open, conversation's finished because I'm off.
Yeah, I was still talking and Char's like,
gone. Do you feel that you'll eventually have to choose one? No. As they grow, I feel like they're all going to grow. Yeah. How would you manage that?
I used to be really scared of being good at different things. And then I think I was watching something random on Netflix. And I realized that they're actually technically, they're all creative. So I don't feel like I have to stop anything. I need to eat. I need to draw because drawing is my therapy. In my saddest moments, I pick up a pen and I put pen to paper, and that's me. The interviews, I feel that will always inspire me. It always inspire me and make me grow, because I'm always, taking from other people. I'm kind of cannibalizing ideas and stuff. So I don't feel like there's a time where I need to put them down, but at the same time I have to invest in them. So at the moment I'm not doing any content on Big Chef Little Cook because I'm focused on my car life stories. But I feel like when I bring it to the place where I want it to be, then I can start, delivering the content again. But at the moment I just have to focus on my car life stories, and when I cook, because I have to cook, I'll make it pretty and I'll put it online. And the supper clubs are they're really intimate. The supper clubs were never bigger than 10 people every 6 weeks, so I can do both.
How you want it to be. You don't want it to be, because it will lose that.
It wasn't about the money necessarily, because it was more about showing the level that Jamaican food can get to. And I just started. There was a long way for me to go with it as well. So
cool. I think I just have one more main question I wanted to ask. When you close your eyes and see like 10 years time, where do you see yourself, and where would you like to, like, what is the dream?
Do you know what? I've never really been able to answer this question. And maybe this comes from the fact that we never knew where we were going to start off with when we were younger. But my main thing is I want to be happy. I want to be healthy, and I want my child to be the best person who she can be. It's not a physical place. It's not being in a big house. I mean, I want a Ferrari, don't get me wrong. I want a house with a pool, but it's just a sense of not being troubled by that, because a lot of people they get to be successful and then they're lonely and they're unhappy and all this stuff. I don't want that. I just want to be healthy. I want to be happy, and I just want to be content with my space. That's it.
Wow. I was thinking, if I was to, my mum commented before and just said she's coming for some food. And
come over, mummy, anytime.
And Clark Kent said he can vouch for supper.
He can. He's attended. He did. He attended the last supper club.
Yeah, I saw photos and I was dribbling.
Yeah.
Hating it. But I think for myself, I've always been stopping and starting things. I start things and then something else will catch my attention and I'll start something else. I just have this really bad habit of doing that. But I'm still planning on working on all my many projects. My charity for young people, which is a mentoring program for young people that have been bereaved by violent crime family friends. So a mentoring program for them. That's something that I really want to develop. And also I have like an agency, like an unofficial one that I've just had for ages. I'm always being approached for singers, etc. So I do a lot of weddings. So I have singers at weddings, funerals, events, concerts, all sorts of things. So I do that, but I want to actually take that up and, give it a little push. I've never pushed it. It's just literally been word of mouth. So I have these little things on the side, and I just want to keep developing them, keep growing, learning from my friends like yourself and Emil, and many other, I think, talented friends. So.
I think you need to. I feel like, we shared lots of conversations about the future and what we should do, and I feel like you are bound to be successful. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that the success that you want, because obviously success means different things to different people, but the success that you want is there, and it's already happened. You just have to get to that point where you feel like you've got it in your hands and you can really run with it. And all the things that I've learned from myself is that it's already the tangible part of it, the bit that makes you the cash money. If you want it, you've already been doing it. You just have to grab hold of that thing and make it happen. You can do all the things that you've been wanting to do. You can do the mentoring, you can do your singing, the agency, but the thing that you've been running from the most is the thing that you're supposed to do. And the quicker you do it, the quicker you can execute every other project that you want to do.
No, it's very true. I'm always busy doing something, but usually a lot of the time the thing that you're supposed to do will get pushed down, especially when it's your own. Because you've made promises to people. You don't want to let people down, and it's easier to let yourself down.
And I feel like it's a reflection on what happened to you. So you've kind of always surrounded yourself with people, and even me, people take. And then once we've taken, what is left for you? And it's at some point you have to put the walls up a little bit and say, you know what, guys, I'm gonna keep for myself. And when you do put those walls up, you will receive. You just have to allow yourself, like the compliments, you have to allow yourself to receive from others so that you can really flourish within yourself. But Char knows that she's good at and you have to implement. It's the implementation that it takes time, but it's only in God's time, but it's also when you're ready.
We'll get there, girl.
We will
get there. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna wrap up. We've been on for like an hour and 10. I think that's good. That's good.
That's it.
Good timing. It's been good today. I think it's been really inspiring to hear your story, to hear Emil's story, and I hope those who are listening have enjoyed and learned a little and been inspired to be the best version of themselves. And
we ain't got nothing else, I mean, I don't know what happens after this.
As you said in your Instagram, you've got one life. So
I did.
You're like, yes, you did.
I did. I literally, I said, we've got one life that we know of. I don't know what's beyond this, but I think it's I always call it my earth experience. It's your earth experience. So you have to make the most of it, because this might be it. We might not come back as a fish or a star or whatever it is. So while you're here and you have this blessed experience, make the most of it. Don't rob yourself don't rob yourself of the opportunity to be the most that you can be.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna wrap up, guys. Thank you for joining me for episode 14. We are going strong.
Amen. Well done, though. I'm really proud of you for this.
Thank you. I want to do one, because you can have up to 10 people on here. And I've got so many ideas. A lot of people is just too much. But I have lots of ideas, as I do. So we will be back with more exciting stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, love you lots. Yes, I appreciate the dance. I appreciate it all.
Always,
All right. Well, CharChar and Kat, my guest.
Bye.
Till the next time.
Until. Bye.